This is Eric.
This is Jacob.
This is Paul.
This is Steve.
This is Lauren.
This is Casey.
And you're listening to the Transformers Beast Wars podcast,
Which you can find at OptimusPrimecast.com.
This week, episode number 55.
The Scrapyard Sessions.
This week, a bag full of nerds sits in a Google Hangout and talks about Transformers with sexy results.
You did it. Oh, yeah. Everybody got their bearings. Everybody got their bearings out.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. This is like hour 3. We've been sitting here since since the last podcast published.
Yeah.
And we're and here we are. This is awesome. This is really exciting. It's been really fun hanging out with you guys. And I'll see you next time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much. I've been Eric.
High five.
Obama out.
Yeah, dude, his mic drop this week was awesome. His mic drop was so sweet. We've been waiting for that.
All right, so this week we're joined by a bunch of people off the Facebook page and listeners, some of our Patreon
patrons,
and we're just gonna basically kind of go over final thoughts on the series, kind of a wrap up. We just finished up all 52 episodes, including the missing episode Dark Glass that we put out, the radio drama.
Yeah, that was like the mostly missing episode.
Yeah.
There's like the super missing episode. I haven't listened to the episode from this week, so I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff we talked about last week.
And it's kind of funny because we took a 24-minute audio drama, which included narration, right? So it's already longer than the TV show, and somehow we managed to squeeze out an hour and a half of us talking about ourselves.
Yeah. I'm impressed. Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so
actually, Steve, your girlfriend just listened to it.
Yes.
He just made his girlfriend listen. What did she think about it? Because we never let you finish your story.
Well, we had as deep a conversation as we could because I didn't want to miss this, and I mean, very impressed. Like a little teardrop because Dinobot was one of her favorite characters. You know, so
sweet. So she liked Beast Wars to begin with.
She liked it to begin with. So
nice.
She had watched the entire episode. I remember when we were friends, she went to, I live in Washington, D.C., and she went down to Richmond, and I was very upset at her because she watched Transmutate without me.
No.
And she came back, and she had she was like, I need to watch more of this. What did you get me into, Steven? And so,
oh man, I made my fiance watch Transmutate. She was like, I could see where you're going with this, but no.
And now you know why Dale is my new roommate.
Yeah. But that's really cool. And then Paul, has Jenny heard it?
No. She listens to people talk to her all day. She is dispatched for the police department. And I've tried to get her to listen to the podcast, but it's a no-go. Every time you guys gave her a shout-out, though, I made her listen to that part. She knows about you guys, and she was very supportive about me doing this tonight, and that's why she called her girls and went out.
Wow.
That is
fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Here, you know what? On the count of 3, everyone say thank you, Jenny. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Jenny.
Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah. And then next month we're starting the Jenny cast. The Jenny Calicast at JennyCalicast.com.
Her favorite character is Dinobot, with Black Arachnia as a close second.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Black Arachnia was always a major favorite of mine, but I think about her a little bit less nowadays because
she was the only girl. So
yeah, she was the only girl. Yeah, she was the only girl.
Hold on. Name the quote. Honey, you got ugly fast.
And of course, Black Arachnia is the bad girl turned good, but stayed a little bad.
Yeah. Seriously. No, Jacob. What's your podcast? Plug your podcast. Tell us what you do.
Oh man, okay. My podcast is not nearly as exciting as a Beast Wars podcast. I'll tell you right now. It's me and a friend. We're both
writing
teachers.
It down anyway.
All right, me and my friend. We're both teachers, and what we do is we do a goal-setting podcast where we set some goals for ourselves every week, and we challenge each other. We're in season 2 right now, so we're actually doing food challenges. The podcast is called Playing the Home Game. So if anyone wants to write in and challenge us, last week we did ramen with sriracha and chili pepper and a half stick of butter. It was horrible, believe it or not.
Whoa.
The butter was way over the top.
Why would you do that?
Before that was a quail challenge. We'd had either quail eggs or cook quail in some way because it's supposed to be healthy for you. This week we're taking a shot that is 1 part honey, 1 part apple cider vinegar, and 1 part cayenne pepper. So that's what we have so far.
Man, that just sounds awesome. That sounds like breakfast for me.
Dale, how can we...
one part awesome.
Yeah.
If you want to listen, it's playing the home game. We're a very humble podcast, so
cool.
There you go.
That's fantastic. That's gonna get checked out.
It almost sounds like the shooter that Doc Brown gets in Dr.
Yeah. It's a hangover cure, Eric.
Wake up
juice. Yeah.
Yep.
Man, all I can think about is just, damn it, Dale. Why couldn't you ask me to do a food podcast with you, bro?
Man, well, that would be
just freaking. That would be. Hey, you want to watch a children's TV show about toys? It's like, sure. Nobody told me that there was this awesome food challenge. Hey man, we're gonna make some steaks on the grill.
Yeah. Oh god, someone
wrap it up in mashed potatoes and deep fry them.
I would love to eat steaks on the grill.
I got 2 for you. I got 2 for you. One you're gonna like and one you're gonna hate. Okay, and you can guess which one it is.
Try whatever.
All right, one is called Malort.
Oh,
Malort.
Malort.
Yeah, M as in Megatron. ALORT. I don't know if you can get it anywhere but in Chicago. It's like a Chicago thing, as far as I know.
I'm outside Chicago, man.
Oh, you are? Oh, good. Oh, Jesus, so we got to drink Malort. Have you had Malort?
No, I have not.
It's the worst thing you'll ever have. You need steel wool to get the taste out of your tongue. It's terrible. And then the other thing is peanut butter and tomato sandwich, dude. It's good.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, everybody's no. But seriously, I mean it.
You know what? I really like tomatoes with a little bit of salt on there, so I would imagine peanut butter is that salt fix on that tomato. It sounds actually right.
And I absolutely hate tomatoes. I despise them. I can't stand them. Ketchup is only barely bearable. But seriously, yeah.
Well, that is true. I had an ex, and she loved making saltfish. She was Caribbean, and so she would always make these saltfish cakes, and she would use tomato sauce, and her special ingredient was peanut butter.
Oh man! Oh, right on. I was
and now we know why you're not with her anymore. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself.
Yeah. Growing up, I'm half Filipino, and my mom used to make oxtail soup. It was straight up the bones, and the marrow and stuff, and that was in a peanut butter base.
Welcome to the We Steal Jacob's Food podcast.
Yeah. At jennycast.com.
Okay, so Lauren, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? We've seen you poking around on the page.
Let's see, I'm a caricature artist in the Dallas area. I grew up with the 80s Transformers, and I got into Beast Wars actually long after it was off the air. Mm-hmm. And I discovered it on DVD, and I really liked it.
Nice.
That's a good one to discover on DVD, to find it and binge watch it. That must have been awesome.
That's exactly what I did. Wow. I got hooked on it really easily.
I was an original viewer, so I remember recording that stuff on VHS and watching it when I got home.
When we were trying to get everything situated for recording.
It's still recording, right?
It looks like it is.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Speaking of which, when we were trying to get everything with this situated for recording, Dale was like, "Man, why can't we just run it to the TV and put it into a VCR?" And
that would just made this process so much easier. Just run it all into some old technology, man. Run it into some dead technology, and then just transfer it later.
Already existing technology for Metal Gear Solid fans out there.
Yeah.
Currently existing technology. Use your Soliton radar.
Nice.
Oh, Snaker, you're so funny. I was so glad when they changed Mei Ling's voice.
Yeah,
man.
when they changed it on the GameCube one, I was like, wow.
The GameCube one was so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was so,
I never played Twin Snakes.
When that game came out, but you got all the movies. Do you remember this?
No.
You had gotten all of the AVIs, and we watched them. at my house in the basement at Dad's house. This is like 20 years ago.
No.
We were.
His memory was erased.
Yeah, I think the answer is Malort.
Data transfer not found.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so Casey, give us a little bit of how you got into the show. You've been a long time listener. You've been one of the first to reach out to us and tell us how wrong we were.
I've been watching it since Generation 1. In fact, I'm a year older than the series. I got into Beast Wars when it came out originally. Then I kind of watched Beast Machines and grew out of the era. Recently, I've been big on various review shows. Review movies, TV shows, episode by episode, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been looking for like good ones for like Red Dwarf or Farscape. Hard to find, honestly. At least ones I enjoy. And so I just typed in Beast War Transformers one day, and you guys popped up, and I've been listening since around episode 18, probably an episode or two prior to that. So yes, cool. I was there during the 6-month dry spell.
Oh man, yeah. Were you like somebody commented when we came back on like the Facebook page or something that were like they were glad that we came back. Was that you?
No, my first comment was around season 2 opener. And that's when I gave that long post about my theories about the mindset and forms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice.
Right on. All right, cool.
I think it was when you came back was when I actually started posting and talking to you guys.
Nice.
Because I had started listening at episode 3.
Mm. Oh no! Yeah, that dry spell hit you. Sorry about that.
And then y'all were gone for a little while, and then when you came back, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. You know what, man? So many times when a podcast like drops off the radar for that long, they just never come back.
Yeah.
And that could be super annoying. There was a Magic the Gathering podcast that I listened to called MTG Explosion, and it was just so good that I ended up just becoming Facebook friends with the guy that ran it. But he did like 3 or 4 episodes, and then he was off for like 5 months, and then he did 1 episode, and then now he does he makes his own Muppets. His name's Jack Thomas. He makes his own Muppets. And he actually, he ran a Kickstarter campaign so that he could start basically a children's network on YouTube.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
he did a
awesome.
children's book. I bought one of his books on iBooks. I don't know. iBooks. You could one of those things where you could download it to your phone and read.
Ebooks.
Yeah, it was good. It was an ebook, but in like the iTunes bookstore.
So it was an ebook, but it was an iBook, but it was an ebook.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm glad that we're all on this. I'm glad we're all on the same cyber page.
Yeah, we got this.
Uh-huh.
Glad we're all on the same GeoCities page.
Yep. How about you, Eric? What's your history? Your real history with Transformers? What like
well,
nothing,
I posted
right?
it on April 1st, but nobody believed me.
Shut up, Steve.
I was abducted.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Like I remember watching like the original series like way back when intermittently. I can't really recall any real episodes. I watched the Transformers movie. I had it on Laserdisc for a while there. It got destroyed in a flood when I was in one of my previous apartments, in a basement apartment. And that was pretty much it. I had maybe a handful of toys growing up, and I never really held on to them. The one that I absolutely did love, that I did hold on to for a while until it was like broken and missing so many pieces, I just had got rid of it, was Jetfire. And I found I held on to that one because it was right around the time where I started getting into anime and manga. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is Macross. This is a Valkyrie from Macross. Yeah. So like I don't really have a background in Transformers. Like I said before, that this series and sitting down and watching this series with Dale was my real first introduction to Transformers.
Wow.
Okay, I've got a question for you, Dale and Eric. Then.
Okay.
What got you two to make the podcast? Period. We've never heard why you two started doing this. Why Dale decided to torment Eric with what I affectionately dubbed 90s writing.
Yeah, Dale. Why did you do this to me, Dale?
Yeah, all those long sighs.
I know.
We need to get a counter of how many times Eric has quit the show.
If anybody knows, Jacob knows because he's listened to the whole thing in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. all at once. So I had no 6-month break at all.
That's fantastic. Oh man, that's awesome.
So what was your inspiration to start this show?
Literally, I was like Casey. I listened to a lot of review podcasts. I listened to the Now Playing podcast, which is like you know it. It's so good. It's so good. I got into them because I was because of their Transformers. Their movie reviews. They did the whole series, and I even took their rollout rule from the first episode of that, and that's what I introduced Eric to in the first episode of this. And so like I was really into that. There was another set of guys that did a Hellraiser podcast. There were two sets of guys that did Hellraiser podcasts, going through each movie week by week. And then they ran out of movies, and then they just started doing. Then it's like, okay, we'll do stuff like it, Aliens, Jacob's Ladder, stuff like that. And I had watched all of Beast Wars a couple of years before, and like a year and a half before that, and then I had just finished Prime. I plowed all the way through Prime. This was right around when like the idea really solidified. When Prime was ending and the Beast Hunters movie came out. Oh. When that movie came out, and I was like really excited about that, and then I'm like, nobody talks to me about this stuff.
Dude, I think we can all feel your pain.
Yeah.
Okay, Dale, you told us what got you into it. So Eric, how did he convince you to do this?
It was really lackluster. He's like, hey, bro, you want to do a podcast with me? I'm like, sure.
Fair enough.
That was pretty much it.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean,
there were plenty of times when I can honestly, we can all agree, there were times in Beast Wars where if you show a person that, they're not going to pick the series back up.
Yeah.
Really
definitely.
painful moments.
It was like
what kept you going? What kept your enthusiasm for the series? Seriously,
you guys.
Correct.
We've heard you suffer, but we've never really gotten why you come back other than Dale's enthusiasm.
Oh, because I guess I'm a bit of a sadist. I guess.
Probably.
Or is it a masochist?
Yeah.
Masochist is when you
You're sadist. Yeah, you're a sadist. Yeah.
Sadist, I guess. Yeah.
You're what's called a catcher in the biz.
Bottom. I think it's called bottom. Bottom. In any case, no, but no. I mean, like he's like, hey, do you want to do a podcast with me? And I'm like, sure, yeah. Like, and this is coming off of a point where Dale and I we've known each other for oh my gosh, almost
20-ish years.
Yeah, 20-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in many different musical projects together. We've done a couple different like podcasts together, or I would join him on his podcast every now and then. We were in a band. He started getting serious. He ended up having a kid. We started kind of, I don't know. We always used to have this pattern of like seeing each other every single day.
Yeah,
every single day, every hour of the day. Like to the extent where after I got out of college, like my classes would end. I would hightail it over to his high school and sneak into his orchestra class and chill out there. And it got to the point where the professor over at his high school actually legitimately thought I went there.
Wow.
So we'd go through these periods of times where we'd spend a lot of time together and then we would spend no time together. And we were coming up on one of those stints where we spent no time together. And like basically the way that I viewed it is like, I really want to spend time with my friend. He wants me to do a podcast. What is it about? And he's like, Beast Wars. And I'm like, ugh.
And I told him, I was like, look, the charm of these things is that you need a noob. You need somebody who has no like great memories of the thing so that everybody else can just watch it for the first time. Watch it again.
Watch the train wreck happen.
You guys know, what you're doing is called an intro cast. You're introducing a newbie to a series with a veteran. That's really what it is.
That's what the Now Playing podcast, that's what makes that fun to listen to, because they always have one guy who's never seen, a whole series of movies. And
one guy's the fan, one guy's the noob, and then the other person is either a fan or noob, or neutral.
And the way that he phrased sorry, go ahead, Paul.
Oh, thank you. That was another reason why I stuck around, is because both of you guys were coming from different areas. Like Dale, you had seen it, and Eric, you had not. And of course, I was making my wife watch with me.
The actual show. Watch this show.
So if we were serial killers, or if Dale was a serial killer, you would be a copycat killer, right? Because you'd be mimicking the thing.
Maybe
something.
Maybe. Keep going, Paul.
But yeah, the two different sides of the coin coming at me at the same time was very nice, to having the no experience to the experience. And me having the experience, it was refreshing for me, also for Eric going through it.
I think so. Like, well, that's the thing. Like, because like seeing him, like, whenever he was complaining about something, sometimes I was genuinely surprised. I'm like, what problem could you possibly have with this? What was that sigh you made? Who cares? Lighten up. It's a kid's show.
But then I also love the arguments that you guys got into, like, about Spark origin and Protoform origin and life essence being transferred and all that good malarkey.
When Dale approached me with it, like, it wasn't just a, hey, sit down, I want to show you something. It was like, hey, I want to do a review of this and kind of do, like, a really detailed analysis of this series. Like, he wants to break it down. He wants to talk about plot development, character development, and all these other different things. I'm like, okay, I'll sit down and tear this whole thing up with you.
Fell into the mud.
And and it was, I don't know, like, I didn't really kind of go into it like completely cynical or anything else like that, but it was like, okay, here's I get to take a critical look at this and kind of stretch my legs as far as
But I think that the critical part about it is what made it interesting. It was the contrast in the review was, no one wants to listen to Siskel and Ebert if Siskel always agrees with Siskel.
True.
Now I will say,
unless you also agree.
This is something I've noticed recently, especially in the recent years, and it started around 2012. Kids shows have finally been given the treatment of, we can treat them as an adult material, as in adult quality writing, as in we don't talk down to them, And
Adventure Time.
Just before that movement, so you're seeing an attempt at that, but they're shying away from it. So what's interesting is to do the different ideas, and not only that, just how willing you guys are to mention fan theories or talk to us on a Facebook and then bring that up in the show and debate our points, that sort of thing.
Oh, you know what? Like,
that was great.
Just looking super deep into shows like that. You guys dropped some Evangelion lines and stuff in there once in a while. Last summer, I didn't record it because it was really my first attempt into it, but I did an Evangelion rewatch. And me and a friend, I introduced a friend to it. She had never seen the series, and we went episode by episode, took notes.
You are a jerk.
So it's like, we went all the way through the movie and then the rebuilds, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Man. I know. I wish I had recorded it, and
Did your friend refuse to talk to you now?
No. While we're on the subject, I wanted to ask you guys why, Dale and Eric, why did you guys pick Beast Wars to start with instead of Transformers Prime or Transformers G1? Why did you go with Beast Wars?
Because Beast Wars was the first one that attained to what Prime was.
Okay.
Yes. If I had, and I have the most fondness for it in retrospect, because like it was a huge thing. Like me and my buddy Augie, we used to come home from high school and watch it on TV.
Yeah.
So like we would come home and like make coffee, smoke cigarettes, and watch. We watched the stuff, and like there were like these like heavy. Yeah, there were like some heavy. Yeah, well, we were like 17, 18 years old, and then like and the Dinobot episodes where they were like, man, that was crazy, that was really good. And then what was on after that? Digimon. So the first season that Digimon was on, and that was also a really good show. And so we would watch those two shows. We'd have to get home for our stories, and then and then we go play music in the basement. So yeah, so like that and actually like the only Beast Wars toys that I ever owned until I started really trying to be a collector were bought to me by him. He bought me Dinobot 2, which until my first real watch of the show a couple of years ago, I didn't know that he was ever in the cartoon. because I mean, he's in what 6 episodes,
Yeah.
So, but like I didn't know that he was. I never finished the whole show back then, and then I had him, and then what's that? The one ant that's not Inferno, but it was gonna be like a
Scavenger.
Yeah, Scavenger. He was gonna be a transmetal.
A bit of trivia: Scavenger was supposed to be transmetal Inferno.
Yeah, and that I would have been cool with, but then he was never in the show, so I was sad about that too. And it was also one of those things like, growing up, I only had I had Grotusk from the Headmasters series from G1 and Ramjet. And Ramjet was like didn't he have like 3 spoken lines in all of the first all of G1? So
just to put it out, Eric,
and I always wanted Starscream.
You guys chose the perfect series to start with because G1 suffered from 80s cartoon, as in it was a toy commercial. Beast Wars
would be
one of the few shows of its era. Technically, Beast Wars is an 80s cartoon because it's coming off of that wave, And it was one of the first shows with a dedicated, continuous storyline. There were others around it, but there weren't any that tried to tie into a completely blank series. Let's be honest,
Yeah, as far as like natively English written, like the stuff written in English, because there was plenty of anime already, and stuff
that
like
was being ported over.
But
this is why on the Facebook I constantly said you need to go Beast Wars, Beast Machines, and Prime.
Yeah.
Because you have where the series started for any continuous storyline, the conclusion of that series. And then you need to see where we've gone today. Maybe one day you'll get to the Unicron trilogy, but I don't know if you need to go down that path of madness.
I think I would do G1 first. I would. I wouldn't mind that, and then maybe by then we can get like
animated. Every episode, every comment of mine will be, "I don't like this."
Alongside.
The toys were so great, but the show was such poop.
But the series was utter garbage, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
that hurt my soul, but he's kind of right. I'm rewatching it, right? Like, I'm inspired by this podcast. I've rewatched it, like I'm watching it from the first episode of Generation 1 all the way up.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I skipped G1. I'm gonna wait and do Beast Machines with you guys, but I'm doing Prime right now. I'm redoing Prime.
Prime is so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, you're gonna
good, yes.
Eric,
you're gonna be primed and ready. Sorry, Casey, go ahead.
Understand Transformers. This is one of the few cartoons where the toy line actually alters the public perception by up to 75%.
Oh, for Beast Machines?
No, in general.
Yeah.
For example, Cybertron, kind of a cruddy translation brought to America. It's not that great. Toy line, some of the best engineering out there. So it turned out to be a rather average series. Beast Machines, in my opinion, one of the best storylines before Prime. Utter garbage. The storyline for the cartoon was great. The toy line was garbage. But because of that, everyone hates Beast Machines to this day. To this day. Yeah. And there are worse series out there than Beast Machines, but they bash Beast Machines first.
Get ready for a lot of techno music in Beast Machines.
Oh, hell yeah.
Beast Machines is an acquired taste. I've only watched it once all the way through. This will be my second watch through. I'm just not looking forward to it.
Does it taste like Marlot?
I think it's a garbage series, but the toy line to date is probably the most accurate and best engineered out there.
Oh, for
I'll
animated?
have to check that out because
so I mean,
animated. This is true.
Line can save or obliterate a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few shows that do that.
No, this is true.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Like for me, one of the biggest drives that I have is just the puzzle aspect of the toys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been so disconnected from the Transformers series, but I always loved playing with Dale's toys whenever I was stopping over by his house, and that was even before this podcast even started. Yep. So I'm interested in checking that out. Yeah. And then hate to cut you off. We're gonna go over to Paul because we keep on.
You had something, right, Paul?
You're on the spot.
We trailed off there for a second. I forgot what we were talking about there.
Were we introducing ourselves?
Yeah, probably.
Wait, have we even started the show yet? I mean,
Yeah.
That was segment 1. That'll be this week's podcast. Let's go on to the week 2.
But yeah, the Beast Machine toys were very, very bad. Animated toys, very, very good. Cybertron and what was it? Cybertron, Energon, and whatever they all were all going for the keys or whatever. The only thing I really liked out of those series was the mini-cons, just because they were mini.
Yeah, I have one. I have a he's a helicopter and you pull a trigger and this thing goes. Is that the new Cyclonus? I think it's like
that was Armada. That was Armada Cyclonus. And,
Armada Cyclonus. Also, to add to that, let's not forget about Unicron, which even though he was Transformers Armada Unicron, air quotes, I just pretend he's G1 and just. When I see him, all I hear is James Earl Jones. Not James Earl Jones. I'm sorry.
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Not James Earl Jones. Not Darth Vader. I don't.
No.
I'm Unicron.
That'd be one hell of a show, man. I don't have any minicons, so I've never been able to get any of the minicon things to work on my Cyclonus.
Speaking of toys and everything, Paul, what are you having behind you? What's all that you got going on behind you?
Up there on the wall.
Tell the rest of the class.
Yeah, and tell the rest of the class. Tell everyone at home.
It's the Nickelodeon version of the comic book Turtles on the top.
Okay.
25th anniversary old school 1987 Turtles in the middle.
Okay.
And then the new Nickelodeon Turtles on the bottom here.
Oh, okay.
Man, all on the card.
Now.
Yes, sir. All on card.
Why wouldn't you?
Mint in box.
Do you have another set that you specifically play with?
I do actually. I have a Michelangelo over here.
What?
Somewhere.
Sweet.
I'm actually going to try to. I'm going to try to give him a black wash and put chains on his nunchucks. I'm going to try.
Nice.
Cool.
Little custom figure. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I haven't started yet, but
make posts. They there was it was a different form. There was someone who was posting custom toy stuff where they were altering toys to make them look more authentic or better.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
It's just that's some really cool stuff. Like I do a lot of model building just in my spare time, just because I really love doing it. It's something that I've been doing like when I was a kid. So like the whole aspect of going through and customizing toys or whatever, modeling is just really cool. So when you do that, go ahead and post some of that stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
We'd be really interested in like seeing like toy mods.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's my project for next weekend. Is I'm going to try to give this Michelangelo a black wash and try to make chain nunchucks.
Nice.
That's going to be fun. That's cool. I want to see what how that comes out. The guy that did the voice for Rampage in the Dark Glass show that we did was he does Hoagie. Yeah. He paints He-Man figures.
Oh, nice.
He redoes old He-Man figures. He's a member of the He-Man Collectors Club and all that. So
nice.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff. He has the new Castle Grayskull at his house and the old Castle Grayskull.
That's awesome.
And some giant ones that I've never seen before. He has made up some of his own characters and he paints them and puts them together and makes up names for them and stuff like that, even though it's like very easy to come up with a name for a He-Man character.
I remember a lot of characters from the He-Man series, but the one that kind of sticks out in my mind was Stinkor.
Yeah.
And to this day is the reason why I'm not a big fan of Patchouli.
Oh yeah.
It's because of that because what they did for Stinkor is he meant to smell bad, right? And they just put patchouli stink on him. Yep. And that's why it like really is resonant with me in High Fidelity when
get your
John Cusack says, "Get your patchouli stink out of my store." It was just like, yeah, man, absolutely. Stinkor ruined it for me, man.
Stinkor and Mossman also had a particular smell to him.
Funk.
Yeah, that was a funky character.
Fine fresh.
Yeah.
Rumors.
What?
New masterpiece rumors for the next figure.
Okay.
Oh.
Cheetor.
Cheetor? Really?
Cheetor.
Wow.
Well,
which one?
Primal.
I've been keeping up with the Optimus Prime.
Mole or Prime?
Primal. Yes, sir. Primal.
Optimal Optimus.
Yeah.
Fish and Eddie.
The gorilla.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, those pictures are so gorgeous, man. I really wish I had some dough for one of those.
Like,
That would be awesome.
$19 pre-order.
Man, that's awesome.
You know
whatever.
That's
a great price. That's what that is. That's a great price.
That's a half a symbol, man. That is a symbol, depending upon the size.
Yeah.
I'm a drummer, man. It just you know how much you know what I can do with $100. My God.
You get a masterpiece.
Yes.
That's what you can do.
That should be the very first figure you buy, Eric, is a masterpiece Optimus Primal.
And you can scalp it for about twice that amount.
That's the thing. It's a good investment. It's an investment. That's really the thing.
I'm
My
not a
Black
big fan.
Arachnia.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Black
that actually
Arachnia.
is pretty cool looking. Like I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Optimus Primal from the series.
Scumbag
But I have
Optimus.
to Scumbag Optimus. But like I have to admit that masterpiece figure looks amazing. Like seeing a lot of the videos that they did of the pre-paint and post-paint and some of the way that they actuate and transform, it's just like, my gosh. Like you were saying before, like the engineering involved is just amazing with some of these figures. And that, like I said, that's something that I'm completely drawn to. Real quick though, Steven, what's on your wall?
Oh, well,
There's some labels.
those are my albums.
Nice.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm actually an MC. I do a lot of stuff with music, and if you listen to my raps and my songs, there's a lot of Beast War references in there.
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, that I can't think of anything off the top because I'm on the spot, but I literally like everyone's
Wait, I thought as a rapper, shouldn't you be able to throw down like on the like on the spot?
What did I say? I said
You claiming beast mode, but y'all don't know half of it. Beast mode, Predacon, terrorize tarantulas. I'm a transmetal in the upper echelon when my tank is empty, training, snatching up your John.
it's just, it goes.
Oh man,
Nice.
dude, can you send an MP3 of that so we can stick it in right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
Also, while we're here,
share
why don't
stuff to the page. Do you have a website?
Night Train.
Night Train?
Nighttrain357.com.
Okay.
My father was a CB radio buff back in the 70s and the 80s, and he passed away. And when he died, I took on the name, and so now everybody calls me Night Train. They're like, "Oh, Night Train, what's up?" And so it just kind of stuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really cool story, man.
I mean, it's awesome how you picked it up and moved on with it. Not awesome that your dad died.
Right. That flew.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well,
And he was a great bass guitar player, so yeah.
All right.
I think I need to play
Dude, that's
bad guy
awesome.
and get us moving on to our points about Beast Wars now.
Yeah. I segued into that. I like it. Like
Yeah.
rap.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, so
All right, before we do that, does anybody else have anything that we can plug for you? Because like seriously,
yeah,
like
absolutely. Lauren.
like Lauren, is there any place that people can buy your art?
You can find my stuff on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page. My last name is Burnson Art Caricature. So you can find stuff there and contact me there.
We'll also put all the links in the shows.
Yeah, put it in the shows.
Awesome.
So
Thanks.
send us links to your stuff. We'll cut this out.
Yeah, just
Everyone
cut
remind
this
me,
over.
after they do their first episode of Beast Machines, I'm going to link you guys to the Transformers toy reviewer that made me fall back in love with the toy series in general.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool, good. Because I sold all my Beast machines.
And
I was just like, yeah, I'm not
at the
doing
same
this.
time,
Cheetor doesn't stand
I
up.
will do a Doctor Who podcast that is doing every single storyline and episode from 1963 on.
Wow, that's an undertaking.
And they are
Wow,
fantastic. And because of them, I'm inspired to give a rating to Beast Wars, and I'll have to break it down and explain why when we get to that point.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, awesome. Well, who's ready to get into business?
Let's
Or
do it.
beastiness? All right, cool.
Business time.
Yeah, it's business time.
Business. It's business time. You know what? It's time to do time for business. Business time is business stocks time.
Yeah.
business socks.
Down to my.
Put the business socks on.
I'm actually wearing Transformers socks. I've got I've got
Stinkle.
I've got Bumblebee socks from the from the new one, from the new Robots in Disguise. Yeah, they have a Five Below. I was like, yes. And then I got other Autobot socks.
I'm just wearing regular Hanes
Yes.
socks.
All right, so okay, so So
what type of socks are you guys wearing?
I'm not wearing any.
Yeah, I'm not wearing socks.
Me neither.
No socks.
I'm pretty sure we're
a little too much information, guys.
I'm pretty sure we're the only ones wearing pants right now.
Okay. Yeah.
True. I'm wearing shorts.
Okay. Honestly, like you guys' faces are going by so fast, it is kind of like chat roulette.
I volunteered to go
G-rated podcast. G-rated podcast.
Transformer Y first.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So in intro order.
In intro order,
Man. Like favorite characters, we have to Okay. Here, real quick. Show of hands, I guess.
Beast Wars.
Like. Wrap up Beast Wars. Yeah, we're just gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up the show. All right. How many of us are naturally gonna say Dinobot?
Not me.
No? Oh, really?
No.
Oh, good. Oh, well, then we're going to go through. Okay, favorite character. Dinobot is not excluded because people have them. Or favorite characters? Really?
Well, yeah, because let's do a primary and secondary.
Okay, I can do primary and secondary. I was originally just going to go
one and two. One and two.
Yeah, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then I'll start because we're doing everybody remember your intro order.
Jacob, Paul, Stephen, Lord, Casey.
Nice.
Oh, thank you for running the show. Oh, man, you rule. Yeah, God bless you. All right. Yeah. Oh, man. Seriously, Dinobot is the reason why I needed to rewatch the show for the third time. So Dinobot is the reason to watch Beast Wars as far as I'm concerned. And I was surprised that I am a huge Rat Trap fan now. I did not know how much
that came out through the show.
Fan.
I could tell how much you like Rat Trap. It came out through the show. Like, it absolutely.
I had no idea because, like, seriously, for like the intermittent times, I just think like Rat Trap's just the naysayer that sits in the back and nobody cares about him. Like, I thought Rhinox had more to do than he did, but Rat Trap really was such a driving force in the show, and he matters. And there you go.
Yeah.
And there you are, Eric.
I would also have to say Rat Trap is my absolute favorite character. And it wasn't really solidified until Dark Glass. Because, like, he had some quirky bits. Yeah, like he does some goofy things that I could kind of really relate to. His loss and what he was dealing with. And then afterwards, like in Code of Hero and Maximal No More, like, you get these hints of, like, okay, he's a little bit more than just a miner. Or
super spy,
botanist, super spy, whatever
scientist,
800, professions he had. Mm-hmm. But like, when Dark Glass came around, it was just like, oh my God, it was just like this. I cried. I honestly cried because I said in the podcast, like, it reminded me a lot of like the loss, dealing with the loss of like my uncle and like some of the feelings that I was having towards that, and like the not accepting what it was, and he plowed through it to try to do everything that he could to do that, even giving up his life so that Dinobot could kind of live on. It's just like out of the entire series, he is the antithesis of character development. He has a beginning mode, he has growth, he has conflict, he basically like evolves into a better character.
You mean epitome, not antithesis, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good call.
The antithesis is as far as like the defining.
No, antithesis is the opposite of.
It is?
Yes.
All right.
Anti.
Shut up.
ANTI. Anti.
Oh, okay, fine. Fine. Can't quit the show. It's already over.
Do you need a notebook to throw? No, I need that one.
Well, I got one here.
All right, 3. Who's 3?
That's me. I'm up. All right. So, Eric, did you do your secondary favor? Your secondary?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I would have to go with Flashlight Book.
There it was. That's it. I'm out. That was my first and second choice. I don't know.
Nice. Right. Like my second serious secondary would be Rhinox.
Okay.
Why?
Well, because Rhinox, like, he's always been true to himself. There's no like ever really playing around with it. Yeah, he had some Eeyore moments. Yeah, he had some really bad, like the low road episode. But like
that's a funny episode.
everything, But yeah, I mean, he was always there. Like he is the unsung hero of the Beast Wars.
The Rock.
Because
yeah, he really is.
You know that everything would have fallen apart if it wasn't for Rhinox.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, sir.
case in point, last I don't know, not even last 5 minutes, last 2 minutes of the show, he's the one that takes out Megatron and saves the day. Otherwise, everyone would have been just screwed, you know?
He had so many of those moments where he's reluctantly right. He's like, all right, this is not going to go well. Like, he was so reluctantly correct about so many bad things that happened.
And he trudges on.
That's just
you know?
dandy.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, he did have some great moments. I think that since he was so stoic, when he had a funny, he really had a good funny, except for the low road.
Yes.
Come on.
That was just
Everybody has gas.
Hilarious.
I've got to buy that book for my kid. My daughter, she's 2. She'll be 3 this year, and legit. We were in church, and she just does it. She's sitting there. She will look up and say, "I farted," and she did that in church. It was great.
That's
all right,
awesome.
And embarrassing.
So Jacob,
Great segue there. All right, so I have to say I am Predacon through and through. Both of my choices are Predacons. My first choice,
really?
number 1 favorite character, Protoform X himself, Rampage.
Oh, okay.
All seriousness, he is the reason that show went from, oh, this is a good show, to, whoa, the writing in this show is way deeper than I could have imagined.
Okay.
His episodes, every episode that featured him or he was involved in a more than just a background villain kind of way, obviously Transmutate. That is a game changer for this series, and all the battles that he would be part of, and he would just be this like subtle madman, just no conscious, and just he was just awesome. I really liked Rampage a lot. Second favorite character. It was a real close toss-up. I really wanted to say All Hail Pterosaur and then just say that he was there, but he was just in the series so short. But Inferno was my second favorite character of the series. And what's really cool about Inferno is that, if you guys remember his first episode, he had all those like screaming moments where he looked like more of a savage than he was at first. And then he really kind of digressed into kind of Waspinator's like fall apart buddy at the end of the series, and he just kind of became comic relief a little bit. But I thought through and through, just the way he treated Megatron as royalty, like, was just it was classic. I really liked it a lot. So
well, I've noticed that too. Not to interrupt, but I've noticed that too about Inferno. Is, if you notice Inferno's change from kind of that Waspinator-esque character, it wasn't really so. It was that, but it was also in addition to these more vicious characters like Rampage.
That's true.
Kept getting crazier and crazier. Yeah, and it's just to add to that point.
No,
it's like the bug bots. Yeah, the bug bots, like, by the end were really like, you had Waspinator, Rampage, and Quick Strike. That just this brigade of guys that you can't take them seriously in the face of X.
Yeah.
With Protoform X running around, it's like
You've got like X, and you've got Dinobot 2.
Dinobot 2 was dark too. Like
they just kept getting more evil and more vicious, and it made the ones who were vicious not as vicious anymore.
I mean, truly, I can't understate it or overstate it enough that Protoform X, that his introduction was great, but like as the show progressed, his character was so serious that it was lost on, I think, a lot of the younger viewers. It's like, this guy's oddly weird. He's really kind of strange, but as an adult watching the show, like, you see the complexity of his character. He's dark. I mean, truly, he is one of the darkest characters. He's like a sadist.
Yeah, he is messed up. They based him on Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, I remember that hearing that.
So it's like, show. It's like, man, and like after seeing that, I'm like,
I do agree with you that the dynamic between Depth Charge and Rampage is one of the defining factors of the series. But as a whole, though, like I just don't think that there's enough there for me to say these are my favorite.
And see, like,
no offense to you.
With Depth Charge, he truly is an archetypal character. He's the bad cop. I mean, like, he's a paper thin as a character, and that's why I didn't get as far into that. But like, Rampage has got layers and depth to him that Beptar just doesn't have.
Yeah, the way that they built his character into just lines that he was dropping, like you had friends on what was that Starbase Rugby?
Yeah,
they were delicious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like those type of things that were like super subtle that would go way over the head of a kid, or just be like, "Ha ha, I hate his friends." But I don't even know how that could be like processed by somebody that wasn't sitting there smoking a cigarette and drinking coffee on a Wednesday afternoon, being like, "Oh my god!"
Well, see, what's funny
did you hear what he said?
I remember seeing this, seeing the series when it first came out, and when they introduced Rampage, my jaw hit the ground, and I said, "I want that toy!"
Yeah.
And he didn't come out until I believe the third season. Right? He didn't come out to the third season.
Really? and the backup, there he is.
The backup.
Jacob has grabs.
I got the whole box. I took a picture for the Facebook and never put it on there. I have almost the entire run. Like, there's my box of shame. Like, just
gorgeous.
I got some G1 in there. I have the original Grimlock and Slag and Optimus.
Sweet.
Oh, we're on a trip here. We're going to see other stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. We're going to see this.
Ooh. Everybody, stop talking. Let it focus on Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, Megatron. Whoa. Oh, Unicron.
Wait, let me go over here.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking.
And all those guys.
Nice.
Yeah. Missiles, Dale.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm a nerd, and I'm proud of it.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
You gotta be. That's awesome.
Paul.
Yes, sir.
Primary, secondary, favorite.
Well, I'm gonna have to go first one, Inferno.
Nice.
Okay.
Just because of his undying loyalty.
Was he like the most faithful character ever in the series? In this
I believe
show?
So.
Scorponok, I don't know. Scorponok was pretty loyal.
Scorponok didn't have eyebrows.
Inferno was stupidly loyal, whereas Inferno was maniacally loyal. I don't know if there's that much of a difference.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, Scorponok has eyebrows. Yeah. So.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite bit with Inferno? Because he did have some great scenes.
Yeah, when he first showed up, I believe it's Quick jumps and hits him with his snake tail, and he's like, for Inferno is all like, Pain? He is my friend. Let me introduce you to him. And he just like smash.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with that. I was like, that is so awesome.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really good, man. That was really good stuff. Like, yeah, and they did a great job, like, with how crazy he was, because and he didn't start. I guess he didn't start calling Megatron my queen until the next season, right?
Yeah, it was episode-ish, I think. It's like his second official episode where he interacted. I think that's about when he started calling him queen.
Yes, my queen.
Okay.
It started at the end of the first season, if I remember, and then toward about the middle of the second season, Megatron started to get a little tired of it. He'd just go,
yeah, because the colony was destroyed.
Yeah, for the colony.
Yeah.
Yes, the colony. Protect the colony.
The funny thing that I picked up is that even with the character designs, like Inferno reminded me very heavily of Invader Zim. Like
the shape of his head.
Yeah, how he always talking like this.
I never thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the colony.
Yeah, I think we probably ended up having.
There was a really good scene with Inferno when he charges the base by himself and just gets blown away.
Yeah,
screaming the whole time. That was good. That's the Inferno I like. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and your secondary, Paul?
I'm gonna have to go with Tarantulas.
Woo!
Traitors.
Speaking of tarantulas,
I love his mad scientist. And he found the Nemesis. But I don't know. Ravage was pretty good, too. I love that he turned into the cassette tape.
Yeah. A nice throwback.
Mm-hmm. I have a theory that Tarantulas found Nemesis late season 1 when he finally defected, and he was rebuilding it that entire time.
That makes sense.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going with you on that one.
Because how else would he... Because, I mean, he had so much infrastructure. There's no way that was done in 3 episodes. That had to have taken,
easily 5 or 6 episodes.
That would have had to taken him easily dozens of years to produce.
Well, yeah, Lord knows. But he does have all those bug bots and 8 arms. Minimum. A minimum of 8 arms. Eric has a question about tarantulas. Now that tarantulas
I'm
has
actually
come up.
quoting Catherine Carnahan, and she actually asked, she's like, am I the only one who thought tarantulas, like the original rendition of tarantulas, looked like a purple and yellow eggplant with 8 legs?
I can see that.
They went with some really weird colors. I don't know why they went with those colors, but
yeah, I never went there, but now I'm hungry.
Back to food again.
Yeah, seriously, man. I have an electric stove now, so I can't do it anymore. But you can mash an eggplant flat and throw it on top of the open fire. That's delicious, man. You throw that on some rice.
I'd hate to clean up your
some
stove,
hot sauce
man.
and some soy sauce.
Oh man,
that is breakfast. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, like a soft cooked egg, so you get the yolk all in there. Oh, Jesus.
What the?
It's sriracha. Sriracha really just finishes everything off. Anybody had sriracha on pizza?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so good.
Here, jerky.
I've had that too. Yeah, that's really good.
If you guys
on a meat lover's pizza.
Yes.
Side note. If you guys really like hot sauce, we have a friend who grows his own peppers, makes his own hot sauces. It's Matt's Psycho Sauce. It's by far the most delicious hot sauces. Right?
Yeah.
Hot sauces.
Line of hot sauces.
Line of hot sauce.
Yeah.
That is just ever. Just check it out. It's on Facebook. I'll put a note.
He's all about flavor. He's all about flavor. Since you're near Chicago, Jacob, if you want to do a hot sauce challenge with me, I got some stuff that I can barely touch at home.
I am all about it. I love hot sauce stuff.
It's, I'm trying to remember what it's even called.
I make my own enchiladas, and I throw habaneros and ghost peppers in there. It's good stuff.
Delish.
We in the course of the series and stuff, while we were talking, we've always went on tangents about food, and I think that we've devolved I think it's kind of fitting that we devolve like this in the recap.
Yeah, this is also the part of the show about cooking foods.
And then, I guess that Jacob, we're going to be reaching out to you in the near future because
I'll come. I'll drive out wherever this is sold, and I will pick up some of your hot sauces.
All right, so we have now Sean.
Oh, Sean?
Yeah, we have Sean.
Steven, because we did Paul, right?
Yeah.
No,
yes, sir.
Now it's Steven.
I'm done.
Steven, primary, secondary.
Okay, primary actually is the rat.
Oh, there he is.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And my reason for it is because me being a G1 fan from back in the day, the one thing that G1 didn't have was conflict. And even from the very first episode of Beast Wars, here goes this guy who's a good guy. And I didn't like him at first because I was like, the good guy's supposed to follow what the leader.
Amen to that.
Yeah. You're supposed. I'm the leader. You do what I do. And here goes this rat who goes, I'm not doing that. You do it. And that carried through on. So it was interesting because if you ever watched G1, pretty much anything that they said, they were, Optimus. Yes, sir.
It's all a bunch of Boy Scouts. Yeah, it's very.
The closest thing to that was Braun. You remember Braun in season 1 of G1? Yeah, he was a bit of an a-hole, man. And there was even that one episode where they changed his personality.
That was Gears.
And he had to be.
That was Gears.
Oh, Gears. That was Gears.
I literally watched.
Yeah. The episode's called Changing. Yeah, the episode's called Changing Gears. Yeah.
It's kicking transistors. Yeah.
And he has to become a jerk again by the end of the episode.
He was still just complaining. He wasn't defiant. And so even the Dark Glass episode, you got a character who is defiant. And that's what I used to not like him. Like I said, I used to not like him. And then I watched it again and again and again. And, before I knew it, I was like, wow, this guy's a demolition expert. And he's all this stuff. He's the first. He doesn't jump right into danger. He actually says, I'm going to stay away from this as much as possible. You know what? I'm going to play some video games. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play some video games. He's my kind of guy because that's what I'm going to do. Rat Trap is my zombie apocalypse partner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And,
secondary?
My secondary is Megatron.
Okay.
And
yes.
And that is the reason why. Again, it ties back into G1 is you had David Kaye, which is an amazing voice actor, and you had these writers, and you had this guy who had the name of this vile bad guy from the 80s who is Megatron, and then you switch it around and you've got this very suave. He had this very James Bond villain kind of, you know, the monologuing, and that he was the first villain that was so, for a kid, that was cool, calm, and collective. He was like your Blofeld for kids, you know. It's like
excellent reference, man. Excellent reference.
Yeah. It's just, you know, I remember there was a specific episode. I think it was like it was an episode where one of the other voices, or the episode where
one of the Vok episodes.
The Vok episodes, yeah. And I'll never forget. You know, Rat Trap is talking to Optimus Primal, and he says, you know, what are we gonna do? What do you think? Meg's gonna let us in for oil and cookies? And I remember thinking about that and talking about that with my friends, and we're going, yeah, that sounds like something he'd do while he's petting an evil cat. And he's like, yes, I'll accept.
Oh, yeah, it's his rubber ducky. He's the rubber ducky. It's not the cat.
That's his evil cat.
In the episode that I hosted with Dale and Eric, this Megatron, and I think you'll agree with me, is the single most manipulative and intelligent villain the series will see for a good many years, because from the moment he looks at you, all he has to do is look at you, and he has you pegged. He knows exactly what buttons to push. He knows exactly when to watch you and when to manipulate you. That's why he was able to take credit for Tarantulas' schemes. He knew exactly what this guy was going to do. He knew he was a spy from them before he even stepped on the ship.
Yes.
He knew everything about him, and he didn't even have to research him. He just looked at the guy.
I always used to think of this Megatron as, this is a weird reference, but, you know, Megatron in G1 was just a high-pitched, screechy voice. This one reminded me of the gremlin from Gremlins 2 that drank the brain potion.
Yeah.
like the way he talks. So I always attributed this Megatron as being the most intelligent. The G1 was just run in there with a stupid plan and get your butt kicked every time.
Yeah.
Megatron was a real threat, and his voice and his mannerisms reflected that.
One thing I have to add to this too is that this Megatron was, as a kid, this was the first time there was a cliffhanger where pretty much the bad guy won. The Beast Wars are over, Optimus. You lose. And there's this big gap, and I'm like, where is the rest of this? And I'm tearing my eyeballs out, like, what just happened here? So Megs are
can relate.
Dale actually had a very interesting fan theory about G1 Megatron.
Oh yeah,
and
and
Beast Wars Megatron.
Yeah, where since this Megatron took the G1 Megatron spark out, he got all of the good G1 mojo, and that is why, like, so now, like, G1 Megatron is missing a bunch of stuff that he should have had, but it's commingled, but it's gotten, like, taken out by future Megatron, so now old Megatron is destined to lose the Great War, because he doesn't have all the good stuff in him anymore.
That is brilliant.
That's awesome. That's really well thought out.
And what's scary is that ties into the prequel comic books, the IWD comic books, because he is very cool, calm, and collective in the IWD comic books.
Yeah. Oh, man, like All Hail Megatron?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's like one of the, that was like one of the best reads ever. I've been slowly buying the anthologies of the original comics, but my fiance got me the hardbound All Hail Megatron book, and I just lived on that until I finished it. It was just the
unique
best
trait about Beast Wars Megatron. He is, I don't know of anyone else in any cartoon series up to that point and for many years to come who was vile enough, disgusting enough to rip out a wounded person's soul on the hint that this would work and cut it in half knowing it would cause them pain.
And making a delicious soul sandwich.
Soul Sandwich sounds like, doesn't that sound like a 90s grunge band name?
It could be. Yeah. It could be.
He heard it.
Yeah, collective soul sandwich.
A mild curiosity to him that he creates his blade that would extinguish anyone else's spark, stabs the guy fully expecting to kill him permanently, and goes, "Oh, I can use this to my advantage."
Yeah.
This guy
Yes.
horrific.
Yes.
This guy's is the most foppish horror movie creature we've seen to date who's never been in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really tough. Like this Megatron, and what's crazy, like one of the things that like always like kind of struck me is that like like we had the whole truck not monkey thing in the 90s where like everybody's like, no, it's not Optimus. Well, it wasn't. Yeah. Like some of the boxes initially were hinting that like that was actually Optimus Prime, but once it finally all shook out, and then like this is Optimus Primal. He's not even a Prime.
Yeah.
He's not even a Prime.
He's not divisible by one in itself only. I mean, you can divide by 3, and you can get,
Yeah, like that, and then like this Megatron not being the Megatron, but merely a Megatron. It somehow, it makes, in my brain, since I've seen so many other things, it's like, that makes this greater than. Because like, and even when you go back and they're getting the histories wrong, like the history of the Great War from their perspective is mythology. It's just stuff that like, hey, I heard this happen, I heard that happen. They didn't know how Starscream died in Possession, So like, having those type of things, and then Ravage, and then I'm personally a big fan of my justification of that extra ship being inside of the Ark. It's not there because the Maximals took it away, a million years ago, 300 years in the future. So, but that type of thing I appreciate so much about this show, and that is something that just I don't know, man. It just keeps it real for me. And and this Megatron is seriously like this was the number 1 Megatron ever until Prime.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren.
I'll give you that.
Primary, secondary, Lauren.
My favorite.
That's like the sentence. You have to say it first. You have to say, "Yeah, Prime is so good." It's like all anybody says. Like you say, Prime is so good. I don't even know who said it, but I just heard it in the background.
Prime is so good. That was me, guys.
Yeah.
It's like just someone who agrees with it. Where Prime is so good.
Yeah.
My favorite character is Megatron. I mean, there are a lot. Beast Wars had a lot of great characters. I like a lot of them. I love a lot of them. But if I had to choose my top 2, the first one is Megatron, and for all the reasons a lot of you said in terms of just him being threatening and malevolent, and mostly the fact that he was smart.
Yeah.
He was really smart, and he was very. Especially compared him to the old Megatron from the 80s. That guy was just basically a schoolyard bully.
Yeah.
There's nothing scary about him. There's nothing threatening about him. He just, get out of my way. But this Megatron was like, okay, I'll get out of your way now, but, I'm going to come get you later. He'd had plans that he would make out. And
those long-term plans that, oil and cookies. And those long-term plans that he had and that he would hint at a little bit in some dialogue in one episode. And I guess I can intellectualize that maybe the writers didn't know what he was talking about, but we know that he knew what he was talking about. And that's what matters.
And
Megatron just wants to talk.
And he was very serious about it. Yeah, he just wants to talk. I just want to talk.
You just want to talk.
But
we're just talking. We're just sitting on the couch. We're just talking. We're just talking. We're just talking. It's okay.
They can see this, bro. You can stop touching me now.
No.
Yes.
That went somewhere. But
all right, secondary.
Secondary. My secondary one is the character who was almost as smart as Megatron, but not quite because Megatron could figure him out, was Tarantulas. He's my second favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
And basically, the fact that he found the ship, he was on the Tripredatus Council, which wasn't revealed until late. And probably Megatron probably knew that, but you don't really know. He turns to the camera and says, "Oh, he was a mole all this time, and I never suspected." But he didn't know. You never know. But he did find the ship, and Megatron didn't know he found the ship, and he was as scheming and as conniving and as malicious, but just not enough.
I think what I always liked about Tarantulas too was that you guys made comments on this in the podcast about how he's not really a Predacon, he's something else. He has an agenda all his own, right. And I don't know if we'll ever be really privy to that. I don't know if I've never read the comics. I don't know if they go into that, but I feel like Tarantulas had something going on altogether, and he only really got caught because he was overzealous with it, and he took it too far. Like he just wasn't smart about it. Yeah.
Casey would know. Want to weigh in on that, Casey?
Tarantulas.
Do you have a pipe? Do you have a pipe?
Scientist.
You need a pipe. You need a pipe to be leaning back and talking like that, Casey.
Tarantulas was a mad scientist, but he did something in kids' shows that hadn't been done before. He was a threatening mad scientist. In my episode, I mentioned his battle wheel was not really a gun. It's a surgical saw.
Yeah.
He's there to grab you and cut you open, and he will derive pleasure from it.
I think he's a less refined Rampage. I think Rampage does what he was supposed to do, but way better.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make Rampage a refined tarantula since like it came first?
There's the battle wheel.
Oh, God.
Yep. But I don't know. I like Tarantulas before he just became a mad crazy guy.
His laughing towards the end got a little maniacal, a little less threatening.
After he turned transmetal, it just seemed like he was just all just crazy laughing.
Well, in general, he was creepy. You know, one of the first episodes when he captured Cheetor, and you know he says something really creepy like it's not the nourishment I love as much as the act. Can somebody get this guy like a hug? Like
Yep.
But
Oh wow!
Damn it, moment I'm working.
Minimize. I think that Tarantulas stayed pretty sinister, like for the early days of his transmetal period.
Yeah.
You know, and then he ended up downward because, like, I think that the whole part where he was parked inside a Black Arachnia's brain was pretty bad.
Yeah,
that was heavy.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why he went crazy is because he was sharing consciousness from Black Arachnia when he came back. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, retcon.
I see it more as isolationism.
That's what I do.
Went pure isolationist, and what crazy old hermit, literally crazy old hermit, living off on her own, doing their own mad scientist things, won't get crazier.
Right.
I mean, that's probably the best explanation.
He put a mech fluid handprint on a flashlight bug named Spalding.
Right.
So I guess it's my turn now. And
yes, it's your turn. Primary, secondary.
I have a tie for my top spot and a relationship for my number 2 spot. I cannot separate these groups. My top 2 are Black Arachnia and Rampage. Black Arachnia was the first well-written female cartoon character in a boys' show I can remember. Now, keep in mind, she wasn't the best written character, but she
Chitara, I don't know.
No, Chitara
from Avatar? From Avatar?
Chitara was like one-dimensional.
No, from Thundercats.
From Thundercats.
Chitara.
But, I mean, yes, she had the screechy...
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. You're right.
What
about Dot from Reboot?
Yeah.
Her motivations of, I want to survive. I'm going to do whatever I can to survive. I will switch sides. And as many times as necessary. I will debase myself to the point of bending my pride to survive. You never saw a character like that. Ever.
Yeah, but is that a
Storm and X-Men?
Point? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
she took out the...
Also, I think...
From the 90s X-Men?
Yes, sir.
She was a good character. Yeah, Rogue was good in that show, too.
You rarely
good looking.
And Transformers is terrible about female characters. For the longest time, female characters in Transformers were the chick. That's it.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
like RC.
Yeah.
I'm dropping names like I know who I'm talking about. You know, like RC.
Well, we had RC, and a lot of them was just like they had. Well, the G1 female robots were just impossible to write for because nobody actually had any.
We have a pink car, a fuchsia car, a pink and fuchsia car.
I could get behind you, Casey. I could get behind you on that. Like as far as like one of the first strong female written characters that wasn't just like a pushover.
Yeah,
she definitely could handle her own. She was no nonsense.
And based on the writing too, she had some real internal conflict, and for a children's show, that's impressive.
Yeah. I think Jacob mentioned Dot.
I didn't mention Dot, but I know who Dot is. I don't remember who mentioned her, but yeah, she's.
That was me.
That was Paul.
Sorry, Paul. Character, but I don't know if she was like the best character or like a well-written female character. But she was the main character of the show.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I could go with you on Black Arachnia. Another thing that kind of stands out in my head, it was another thing that stands out in my head is no longer in my head. So anyway,
all right, cool. Here, real quick, let Paul finish. Paul was saying something.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was done. The dot from Reboot was me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I love Casey. Rampage so much, Dinobot, in my opinion, is the best written character in Beast Wars. Period. Mm-hmm. But Rampage, we get him for all of. The focus on him is maybe a total of 5 episodes out of 52. Yeah. Or 40-something. I don't remember. So we got so little about him. We got so much character out of him.
Yeah.
The defining quote of his, this quote tells me everything I need to know about this character, bar my tone of voice, what he says, how he says it, and what he's doing in the moment. I regret everything, my dear. What more do you need to know about this guy? He takes pleasure in what he does. I have always had the theory that he's a death seeker. His condition of the inextinguishable spark is so painful. He wants to die, but to his knowledge, he can't.
Man, you just blew my mind right there.
Yeah.
That's a really good analogy. That because he's indestructible, he has he's like a sociopath. He just needs to go out there and experience whatever he can to get that high, and like there's nothing else.
To make it worse, the reason why he did what he did was to piss off someone and to create a depth charge so they would kill him.
That's very Jokerish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so he was Bill Murray in Groundhog Day?
But he was so refined and so sophisticated about it and so disturbingly pleasant about it.
Even just his voice was unlike any other child cartoon show character.
Mm-hmm.
Like his voice was really unique. They really nailed this creepy, weird sounding voice. You know, Silverbolt is who I think of. When I think of his voice, that's a very iconic voice from a children's show. Not this crazy, raspy, just psychotic, mellow threat voice. It was just awesome.
Yeah, he was like Nick Nolte, man.
Yeah.
Like Nick Nolte after a 24-hour cigarette binge.
And for my second place, it would be the Rat Trap Dinobot relationship.
Yeah.
End of story. Mm-hmm. Without Dinobot, Rat Trap would not have grown. Without Rat Trap, Dinobot would not have grown.
True.
They needed other to do.
I could get behind you on that.
We needed Low Road.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna say goodnight to.
No. You ain't gonna say that and not explain himself. What happens in the Low Road that has anything to do with that? What were they doing in that one? All I can think of is I know Rhinox farts, but what's going on?
Okay. I think Low Road. See, I watched it when it was still plain, just a Saturday morning or Sunday morning cartoon, and I would always catch Low Road. That was the first thing. I saw Low Road way too many times. I was like, why is this one episode playing all the time? But I got to not so much the farting, but I liked the back and forth between Rat Trap and Dinobot. Think about it. They were really going at it in that episode, underground, punching tarantulas in the face because they're so busy arguing. I love that. That was funny to me.
Now, one reason why I bring this up is you mentioned in your Dark Glass. I talked about this with you, Eric, in our interview before we did the episode. Not in the episode. That's where I talked about Dale about Megatron has a thing for Dinobot. Not really a thing for him. He's the one that got away, and Megatron owns him. That's that relationship right there.
Okay.
I mentioned in the current comics they have a new relationship status for Transformers. Conjuncta Amica, which is basically best friends. Maybe it's a little stronger. It's a very serious, very formal friendship, from what I can say. From what I've seen, I don't know much about it. Well, hear me out. And then Conjuncta Endura, which is basically our form of marriage for them.
That's the one.
I honestly think that given enough time, Rat Trap and Dinobot would have been Conjuncta Endura. I honestly do think they would have had a romance. They are opposites and played off each other.
Hey guys, Eric here. Terribly sorry. We went really, really long. As you can imagine, we have about 3 hours worth of stuff, and it's kind of it's rough to expect you guys to sit through all of that. So we broke it up into 2 sections, and this is the first one, of course. The second one's going to be published next week. Hope you guys enjoyed what you have heard so far for the wrap-up of Beast Wars podcast that we have. and I hope that you guys enjoy what's coming up. Please like and subscribe to our Facebook feed, also our YouTube. We're going to start posting some videos there regularly. Also, leave a comment on iTunes or through whatever podcast crawler that you use. Join us on Facebook. It's really great. But in the meantime, you guys stay awesome, and we'll see you online. High five.